The story that is trending right now is centered around serious claims involving senior Zimbabwe security and political figures. And I will break it down in a simple, clear way so you can follow everything easily. So, what is being said is this. There is a viral claim that Vice President Constantino Chiwenga and senior military figure Anselm Sanyatwe were allegedly targets of a planned attack, and that individuals described as assassins were reportedly intercepted and arrested before anything could happen. Alongside this, there is also mention of a figure called Rutendo being connected to exposing or influencing the situation again. Now listen carefully, because this is where understanding is very important. These are very serious allegations, but there is no confirmed official statement that fully verifies all the details being circulated online. What we have is a mix of reports, social media claims, and political commentary that has turned into a very big talking point. But let's go deeper into the situation so you understand why this kind of story spreads so fast and why it captures attention immediately. In Zimbabwe's political space, names like Chiwenga and Sanyatwe are not small names. These are individuals with strong military and government backgrounds. Chiwenga, in particular, has been a very central figure in Zimbabwe's recent political history, especially around the period of transition in leadership years back. Because of this background, anything connected to security, protection, or threats around him becomes a very sensitive topic. Now, when a story like this comes out saying there was an attempt on the lives of top officials, it naturally creates fear, curiosity, and debate all at the same time. People begin to ask questions like, what really happened? Who is involved? And how true is the information being shared? But here is something very important you must always understand. In situations like this, especially in political environments, not everything that spreads online is immediately confirmed. Some of it comes from unofficial sources, some comes from political commentary, and some gets exaggerated as it spreads from person to person on social media. So while the headline sounds very strong and emotional, the responsible way to look at it is to separate what is confirmed from what is still alleged. Now let's talk about the part that says individuals were arrested while allegedly en route to carry out an attack. If something like that truly happened at an official level, it would normally be followed by clear communication from security agencies or government sources. In many cases like this, statements are either released to confirm, deny, or clarify what actually took place. But at this moment, what is circulating is still not fully backed by official confirmation in the public space. That is why it remains in the category of claims being discussed rather than fully established facts. Now, the mention of Rutendo in the story is also something that needs careful understanding. In many online political discussions, certain names or figures are sometimes referenced repeatedly as part of broader narratives. Sometimes these names represent individuals, sometimes they represent commentary accounts, and sometimes they are used symbolically in online discussions. So, without clear verification, it is important not to jump to conclusions about identity or role. What is clear, however, is that this story has gained attention because it touches on three very sensitive areas at once. First, high-level political figures. Second, national security concerns. And third, the idea of internal conflict or betrayal, which always attracts strong public reaction. Now let's slow it down and understand the bigger picture here. Whenever stories like these emerge, especially in countries with strong political structures, they tend to follow a pattern. A claim appears, it spreads quickly, people add interpretations, and within a short time it becomes a full narrative online. But as it spreads, the original details can sometimes become unclear or mixed with opinion. That is why, as viewers, it is important to always wait for verified updates before fully accepting any dramatic claim as complete truth. Now, I want you watching this to stay very alert here, and if you are enjoying how I am breaking this down, make sure you like this video right now and subscribe, because I will continue to bring you clear, simple explanations of trending stories without confusion. Let's continue. Another reason this story is gaining attention is because of Zimbabwe's political history. Over the years, there have been repeated discussions around internal power struggles, security concerns, and political disagreements at high levels. Because of this background, even unconfirmed stories can gain very strong traction very quickly as people connect them to past events or previous tensions. But it is important to understand that each situation must be treated based on verified facts, not just similarity to past narratives. Now think about it like this. If a very sensitive security situation truly happens, it normally goes through official channels, investigations, and clear reporting. But when information spreads first through social platforms, it often arrives in fragments and people fill in the missing parts themselves. That is exactly how stories like these become larger than the confirmed facts available. Now let's also talk about public reaction. When people hear words like arrest, assassination attempt, or escape of danger, the emotional response is immediate. People feel shock, fear, or curiosity. And because of that emotional reaction, the story spreads even faster. This is why responsible viewers should always pause and ask, what is confirmed and what is still being claimed? At this point, what we can safely say is this. There are circulating reports involving alleged security incidents connected to senior figures, but the full official details are not clearly established in the public domain at this time. Everything else being discussed is part of ongoing conversation, interpretation, and online reporting. Now, I want to remind you again, if you are following this story closely, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because I will keep updating and breaking down these stories in a very simple way so you are never confused by headlines again. Let's go further. In situations like this, governments and security agencies usually handle sensitive matters internally first before releasing information to the public. That means sometimes the public only gets partial information or delayed clarification, depending on how sensitive the matter is. So it is also possible that more clarity could come later, which would either confirm, correct, or completely change the direction of what is currently being discussed. Until then, what you are seeing is still a developing narrative rather than a fully confirmed incident. Now, let me bring your attention to something important about how information spreads today. In the digital age, news travels faster than verification. That means a story can become global in minutes even before official confirmation is released. This is why viewers must be careful not to treat every viral headline as final truth. Instead, the best approach is to follow updates, compare sources, and wait for verified communication before forming conclusions. Now, if you are still with me, I want you to comment right now and tell me what you think so far. Do you think this is a real security incident that is being handled quietly, or do you think it is part of online political storytelling that has been amplified? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because I will continue breaking this down as more information becomes available. We are going to continue watching how this situation develops, and if there is any confirmed update from official sources, it will change the entire understanding of this story. For now, what remains is a mix of allegations, discussions, and unverified reports circulating widely.